Well, many of you know that I am working on my next book, which is going to be published for my birthday. Crossing my fingers for December 6th, it should be released. Uh, but one of the things that I continue to hear, and I understand why I hear it, but I get to hear a lot of complaints about the title itself. Why Dancing with the Devil? What were you thinking? Why not make it a book of God? Well, first of all, I'm not a churchgoer, so that clears a lot for a lot of people. But on top of that, dancing with the devil, to me, in my personal life, is actually finding my way back to God. You see, as a person who never enjoyed going to church, as this person who always has tended to do things on her own, through life, I've actually learned that the worst times in my life have been when I've actually turned my back on God. And I've learned this without having to go back to a church. I've learned this through falling into darkness and through this nasty, ugly dance that I call dancing with the devil. You see, when you are in this dance, two things can happen. One is that you can give up on life, and I've been there. Or you can all of a sudden hold on to a thin line of hope, whatever that is, whatever size of hope you have, you hold on with all you've got. And you believe that there's got to be something better out there for you. And because you have to believe in it, you decide that you're going to fight. And I've been there too. And thankfully, that the latter is what's won in my life. You see, when you believe that something has to be in there for you, when you believe that you've got to have a purpose, a mandate in life, then you are going to believe that there's something else that you've got to do. And you're going to go from whining and complaining to taking responsibility and to doing something about it. And guess what happens? When you're responsible for your life, when you take ownership of your mistakes, when you make the decision that being better is going to be up to you, then God, who's always been inside you, will reign. He will be able to work through you and for you. Because God has never left us. It has been us who've turned our back on him. Now, dancing with the devil is not about me preaching, but it is telling you that for you to be able to find your way back to your Father, to our higher source, to the universe, whatever it is that you want to call it, for you to find your way back and reconnect to that power, you're going to have to look within and start working with yourself. You're going to have to reconnect with yourself, because it is time that we decide to make a difference in our lives. Chaos is always going to happen. It's going to come through you through work. It's going to come through your relationships, through people that you meet. It's going to come through your kids, the teachers at school. It's going to come through the news outlets. Chaos is coming your way. It'll find you. So what are you going to do when it knocks on the door? Are you going to let it in? Are you going to dance? Or are you going to protect yourself and make sure that you're always at your best and always able to give the very best of yourself to not just you, but every single person around you? Dancing with the devil, it's not prejudice. It doesn't choose you by race. It doesn't look to see who has an education or who doesn't. Dancing with the devil, that evilness is going to find our weaknesses. It's going to find the places that we have in our lives that don't work as well as they should. And it's going to grab us through there, because guess what? That weakness that we have, it's really a big gap. And it's so big that we give it power. We give it energy. Now, you might be thinking, it's not that big. We have a couple of flaws. It's just a minor thing. Everything else in our lives works. Well, guess what? It doesn't work that way. Because the moment that you are unhappy with something in your life, no matter how small it is, we have given it power. And with that power comes evil. And with that evil comes your dance. and it will play with you. It will tell you how much you failed in this area, and it will take away all the glory of all your achievements, and it will highlight only the areas that you have not been successful in. And everything that you've worked for will be thrown away, because at that moment, all you see is what you don't have or what you have not achieved. Dancing with the devil is a dance that happens all the time, and it's here to sabotage us, to keep us from us being our very best. Dancing with the devil is not written for us to glorify this dance. Dancing with the devil is written so that you can recognize it in your life, and so that you can protect yourself and decide once and for all that you will no longer dance, that you will be the very best of yourself in the circumstances that you're in, because this is the only way that you will be able to continue to grow and continue to give the very best of you to the world. That is what dancing with the devil is to me. It's not about glorifying the dance. It's about understanding it and choosing not to dance.